Deb, here we are with day one of our 5-day Sprightly challenge. And we decided that today we wanted to start with spirituality because for Deb and I both, everything starts with that. When we incorporate quiet time and just talking to God and being still into our day, and that's how we start, we just find that we show up to our day totally, totally different. For those of you that don't have that practice, you might feel like it's maybe something that, it has to be totally quiet or whatever. It can be done in all different ways. So Deb, why don't you tell them about the story that you just heard?
Okay. Well, one of my friends recently told me a story of a man who was talking with Jesus, and they set a time to meet with each other in the early morning in the living room. And so for days, they chatted in the living room before the man went off to his day. And one day, some work things came up, and he didn't spend that time. He just went out the door. And that went on for several days. And all of a sudden, he realized one day that the living room door was open. And when he walked in, Jesus was sitting in his usual chair by the fire. And the man said, "Have you been sitting here all this time?" And Jesus said, "Yes, I made a commitment to be with you, and I want to be with you. So I was just waiting for you to come to me." And I thought that was really cool because a lot of times we think that we're spending time with Jesus for us, which we are, but Jesus also loves spending that time with us. So it would be like Melanie and I setting up a Zoom meeting, and Melanie was sitting there waiting for me and I didn't show up. And that would be disappointing and kind of sad. And we look forward to our time. So how can you look forward to some time with Jesus? And it doesn't have to be in the morning. I love the mornings, but it doesn't have to be. For me, I felt prompted to do that. And so I started getting up a little earlier, but I started with like 10 minutes. And I would literally wake up, and this is funny, but I felt like the song that always came in my head was, "Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me." So no hymn, no churchy song. If you don't think God has a sense of humor, he definitely has a sense of humor. And I was like, I would giggle and go, okay, I get it. And I would get up. But that time was joyful. It wasn't a check the box like, oh, I have to spend time, or I should spend time, because we need to stop shoulding on ourselves. I heard that the other day too. I love that. It was time that I looked forward to, and I still do. And I made it inviting. So I'll have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in the morning, and a candle, and my blanket, and my devotionals, and just make it a really inviting atmosphere. And now I spend a lot more time than 10 minutes, but I want to. It's not like I have to. So how could you carve out 5 or 10 minutes in your day to spend with Jesus? And that will look different for each one of us, because we're all different. We're all created differently. So, but you will find that time is full of joy. And if it's not, then you need to rethink it, because it needs to be joyful. And you need to look forward to it. He's our best friend. He wants to spend time with us. How do you spend time with your best friend? So that's my little spiel.
Right. So for today, our challenge is to find a couple minutes. As Deb and I were talking about it, I remembered reading about Brother Lawrence, who made everything he did into a prayer. And what hit me most was when he was washing the dishes, because we don't have a dishwasher. So we wash our dishes by hand, and so that was just a time to be quiet and talk to God. He also talks about when he was peeling potatoes. So it doesn't have to look like anything specific. I have a friend who takes a walk every morning, and that's her time in nature, and that's also her prayer time. So whatever it looks like for you, and really the challenge for today is find 5 minutes or 10 if you have it, and do something joyful. Hey, maybe it's singing. Maybe you want to sing hymns, and that's your way of connecting. There's no right or wrong. It's just a time for you to connect to Jesus and to be quiet and listen for God's still small voice and what he's saying for your life. So that's our tidbit for today, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. And let us know how you're doing. We love to hear from you. All right. Okay.
Okay. Bye.